Hi everybody, I'm Coach Ali and this is Steph. Welcome to Gain's Home Dumbbell Workout Series 2. Now during Gain Series 1 we covered the 80 foundational home dumbbell exercises and we trained in 12 reps, 3 sets format. In this series we're going to dig a little bit deeper and combine short isotonic sets with its isometric equivalent to really get those muscles pumping.
We want to be able to help everybody with access to dumbbells in the simplest way possible. So in this series, we'll alternate between training your left side and your right side when unilateral exercises are required. We'll work dual sets of 45 seconds. This will be made up of 30 seconds isotonic repetitions immediately followed by 15 seconds of an isometric set.
Let's get through each complex set twice before moving on to the next exercise. If you like, you can drop your weight between the first and the second round. We'll tell you what weight we're using as a guide, but remember to be smart about your choice of weight and let's mitigate any potential for injury.
Now, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Make sure that you do so that you can keep up with our weekly uploads.
Before we get started, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank our channel members. Your support of our channel enables us to produce these workouts for you, and we're grateful for your support. If you're interested in becoming a channel member and getting access to all the workouts in this series, then be sure to hit that join icon. Channel membership starts from only $3 a month, and it gives you full access to us. All right, that's enough talking. Let's get started with Gain Series 2, the next level in your home dumbbell workouts. We'll start this set with some hammer curls with your left arm and then holding isometric in that 90-degree bend with your right arm. So a couple of things to note. You can see that we're starting in front of our thighs and not by our side. So this is going to cut out any unnecessary momentum. We're also making sure that there's no movement in those elbows and the hands are remaining neutral the whole time. Make sure your knees are soft and your hips are nice and heavy underneath you. For your isometric exercise, we'll go up into a 90-degree hammer curl and we'll sustain that position for 15 seconds. All right, now let's switch over and do those hammer curls with the right arm this time. So you can see the left side is the isometric side, holding nice and tight. The right side is working your isotonic repetitions. Again, make sure there's no movement in those elbows. Our feet are at shoulder width, our knees are nice and soft, our hips are nice and heavy underneath us, and there's no movement in the upper body whatsoever. For your isometric set, let's go back to the top. Hold your neutral grip curl there for 15 seconds, and make sure you're looking directly in front of you so that your neck is aligned with your back. These are alternate hammer curls, but you can see we're doing it in an interesting way. The opposite arm is holding the high position and it's remaining isometric until you finish your repetition on that side. Like most of your upright exercises, let's look for soft knees. Make sure your hips are nice and heavy and they're not pushing forward. Look directly in front of you so that your neck is aligned with your body. And let's alternate these curls, making sure that there's no movement in your elbow and that you've got full control over your movement. For your isometric exercise, we'll go to the top of the hammer curl and hold our position nice and static for 15 seconds. This is a right arm concentration curl. You can see your triceps are resting inside of your thighs near your knee. We're leaning forward marginally, but we have a flat back. And then beyond that point, there's no movement in your upper body at all. The focus is purely on our biceps curl, and we're making sure we're getting at least 90 degrees curling at the elbows. Make sure there's no wrist flexion, so try and keep the wrist nice and straight, and keep the rest of the body static throughout this set. For the isometric set, we'll go to the top of the concentration curl. So you want your forearm raised marginally above horizontal, and let's try and maintain it there for 15 seconds. Now let's turn over and work our concentration curls with our left arm. Again, let's look for the same thing. Make sure that your knees are wide enough apart to give you good balance. Make sure that you're pushing inside of your thigh with your triceps, and this will support your curl. Then look for at least 90 degrees flexion at the elbows and make sure that your wrists are remaining nice and straight. We don't want any back and forth motion with your upper body. Let's try and keep that nice and still. And then we'll go into our isometric concentration curl and hold it there for 15 seconds. This exercise is a reverse curl. Now your weights are going to be a little bit lighter for this one, guys. If you try to go a little bit too heavy, you might feel it in your elbows. So let's make sure we keep those protected. The other thing is you can see we've got a marginal angle, so we're not perfectly pronated. And again, this is going to help with protecting your elbow as well. Make sure your arms are tucked in by your ribs. The only moving part is your forearms. And we're going up and down with those reverse curls without any hips adjustment and making sure that we're keeping our soft knees and keeping our neck aligned with the rest of our body. Your exercise is a left side biceps curl, and you can see we're holding the right side isometric making sure the palm is facing up and there's no flexion in your wrist, and it's just holding still for the duration of this set. You're working your reps with your left arm and trying to minimize any movement in your elbow. For your isometric component, let's go to the top of the biceps curl and let's hold our position there for 15 seconds. Make sure those elbows are tucked in by your ribs and they're staying nice and static throughout the whole set. All right, let's switch sides and work our biceps curl with the right arm this time. So hold on to the isometric curl on your left side. Make sure there's no movement in the elbow on either of your arms, and keep working on those repetitions on your right side. Make sure your knees are soft. Make sure you're nice and heavy on your hips. Got to make sure your hips remain static underneath you so that it's protecting your back and so that it's not providing any momentum. For your isometric set, we'll go to the top of the biceps curl and we'll hold our position there for 15 seconds.
Keep this feeling. I'm there when you need me.
These are alternate bicep curls, but you can see we're doing them a little bit differently. The side that's not moving is held high in an isometric position, so you're getting a better contraction and you're getting more work done. Make sure your elbows remain nice and still. Make sure you're soft on your knees and that your feet are apart at shoulder width to give you perfect balance. And make sure your spine's remaining nice and neutral and you're looking in front of you so you've got nice neck alignment as well. For your isometric set, let's go to the top of the curl. Again, making sure your palms are facing up, make sure there's no wrist flexion, and make sure your elbows are tucked in by your side. And let's maintain our position for 15 seconds. These are dumbbell spider curls, and it's a really interesting variation. It's a lot like a preacher curl using a preacher bench, but you're basically resting your triceps on your knees. Now take note of what I said, triceps to the knees, not elbows to the knees. So you've got to be able to use your elbows to push back against the front of your knees so that you can get these curls in without limiting your range of movement and making sure that you're doing it accurately. You can see our feet are at shoulder width. We're dropping nice and low, but making sure that we're not hunching over and then getting really good range of motion with those bicep curls. This is a great isotonic exercise. It's a concentration curl complex. So you can see we're doing a traditional concentration curl with that first repetition and then turning it into the hammer curl and working on the lateral biceps on the second repetition. Make sure your triceps are rested inside of your thigh and there's no other movement. So we don't want any swinging of the torso back and forth. We're simply looking for the 90 degrees bend at the elbow, and your forearm should be the only thing that's actually moving. For your isometric set, we'll go to the top of a traditional concentration curl with your palms facing up, and we'll maintain that position for 15 seconds. All right, now let's switch over and do our concentration curl complex with the left arm this time. So again, make sure your base is wide enough and that your hips are nice and open. So this is going to provide comfort and it's going to provide balance as well. Make sure your triceps are resting inside of your thigh, not on top of your thigh. So guys, watch for that. And then focus on switching between your traditional curls and your hammer curls. Try and keep the rest of your body as still as you can keep it. For your isometric 15 seconds, we'll go to the top of the concentration curl with your palm facing up, and let's try and maintain it there for the duration of the set.
Well done for completing today's gains home dumbbell workout and progressing through this series. If you enjoyed your workout with us, then please give us a thumbs up and let us know how you did today. We love hearing from you and are always interested in your feedback.
If you're done working out for today, then you should move on to cool down stretching with our physio Daphne. There's a link of her stretching playlist at the end of this video, so be sure to check it out. We look forward to bringing you another gains home dumbbell workout shortly. Take care of yourselves and each other.